Okay, right, let's get stuck in. I'm going to do this very quickly because basically I want you to see the concept and then the tools that you can use in order to exercise the concept. So I'm going to share my screen firstly, and it should come up as black. Right, everyone's seeing a black screen. Right, what we're going to look at is defining your products. And in fact, what I'm going to use as an example is I'm going to look at defining a consulting product. In order to define your products, the first thing to do is, what do you do well? And you sit down, you write a sentence on this sort of thing. Try and do that about 20 times before you get it right. And then pull out the important words out of that sentence, as I've done here. Now, I'm not going to read the sentence to you because it's just an example. And once you've actually defined what you do, it's important to then put down what you've learned or what you know about the problems that people experience. And again, write out a sentence and pull out the important bits out of that sentence. And what I've done here is just basically said, this is what people experience when they deal with consultants. And then what you believe, who you believe you need to approach. And I've just chosen 3 random target markets here. What we then do is we then organize this information, put it together. And I put it together like this. So the target audience, the problems, and the solutions. In other words, we start saying, we help, pick a target audience, solve, pick a problem or 2, buy, pick a solution or 2. So to get hold of the tools to make this happen, etc., you can do it on my website. But there's the summary. Now, how do we use this? We use this by picking an audience, picking a problem or 2 and a solution or 2. And then write out a sentence on what we have just picked out. Now, I've written that sentence, and then I've got a possible promotion. And this promotion I would put on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Pinterest, etc., adding images to that wording, and I would end up with something like this. So there we go. We help small to medium businesses choose, quickly implement cost-effective systems, and streamlined onboarding process backed by an on-demand training. Now you can see I've left out the ands and the ors and all that sort of stuff. But what I've created here is an advert that fits in 3 social media places. Firstly, it's a Facebook post. Secondly, it's a Twitter post. And thirdly, it actually works rather well on Pinterest. And then you can also utilize this by adding it as a banner on your website. So I know I went through that very, very quickly. But I think the important thing is I utilized the system that allowed me to quickly put together a definition of what my product is. Now, what you're trying to do here is you're trying to say to yourself, okay, if someone walks into a lift, and again, it's called an elevator pitch. If someone walks into a lift and I've got 3 floors to explain what I do, what would I say? And what I've done here is I've put together a way of thinking that allows you to build these elevator pitches. Now, please understand something here, that I'm going to go backwards on the slides. Basically, what I do when I build these sort of things with clients is I grab a whole bunch of sticky notes and find an empty wall. And I write up on one sticky note, we help, another one solve, and then buy. Leave some gaps between them, and then use different color sticky notes and start saying, okay, who are the people you believe you can sell to? Put down their target markets. What problems do you think they're experiencing? Put down the problems that they believe exist. And what solutions can you offer to these people, these markets? And I put down those answers. And then you take these things one at a time. Deal with one target market at a time. Or if you like, deal with one problem at a time and build a sentence around what you've got here. What that allows you to do is then have the content you need for both social media marketing, website content, and also, if you spend some time learning it yourself, the elevator pitches you need when people ask, what do you do? Now, I think it's important that, and let's just run this again from this point onwards. Picking a single market here, I put together the following sentence. Let me read the sentence as it comes up. We help small to medium businesses choose and quickly implement cost-effective systems with a streamlined onboarding process backed by on-demand training. And there's the first sentence. And we share this in various places. And once you've done that, it's a good idea to actually build graphics that have these words in it. Now, the important thing is, where do I do this? How do I do this quickly and effectively so I don't get stuck in the technicalities and I don't get mess around trying to make things look pretty and have to spend time on all that sort of nonsense? So what I do is I do the following. I utilize a piece of software called Whimsical. Now, Whimsical there's a free version. Whimsical.com is what I'm using here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to build that template that I started with. So what I've gone on to in Whimsical is I'm building using sticky notes. And you can see on Whimsical, you can either do flowcharts, wireframe development, sticky notes, or mind maps. I'm using sticky notes here. And I'm going to grab a stack, as they call it. That stack is going to allow me to create an area, which I'm going to widen up, and I'm going to shorten up, and then I'm going to make it small. And now I'm going to start adding those cards. So I'm going to add a card that is target market 1. Once I'm happy with that, I can hit enter, target market 2, enter, target market 3, and so on. So you can see it's really quick to create these things. And you can then resize these and reposition them and so on. If you want to, you can actually add a heading here. So the heading could be, we help, and then in brackets, target market. And so on and so on and so on. So you can build this fairly quickly. Now, just to show you this, because I don't want to go and do this over and over again, there's the 3 things. We help, sorry, let me just pull that straight. We help, solve, buy, and the solutions. Now, each of these little cards needn't just be one word. You can, for example, on these cards, let me just switch off the mover thing, go and edit these things, and there's a whole card that deals with that young entrepreneurs thing. You can add in discussion points, you can share it with other people, you can create a link so that you can share it with other people, you can have people watch the card, and you can obviously change its color, trash it, and then assign it to people that you want to, and so on and so on and so on. So it goes way beyond just creating the things that you're going to utilize. Now, you can use those if you wish. I find that 9 times out of 10, I don't discuss it with anyone else, but if I do need to, the capability is there. So nice, easy tool. Let me repeat it again. It's on a website called whimsical.com. Once you've got that sorted out, I then use another product called Canva. Canva also has a free version. And as you can see, there's the thingy I created that we ended up the presentation with. And this is actually designed for Facebook to start off with. So under the templates, you can actually have a look at the various types of templates you want to utilize. And there are a lot of them here. So if I look here, this is a Facebook post I utilized, so I can go to Facebook posts. And then on this, I can choose which of these templates I wish to utilize as a basis for what I'm doing. Now, you'll also see that there are free and professional options, but you can also just look at the free ones, for example. And then it'll only show you the free ones that are available. And once you've actually found one that you like, I see it's left the paid ones in there. Once you've found one that you've liked, and let's pick this one over here, you then have this guy that you can customize this template and add the words you want or anything you want. And I think I utilized a charity thing. Here it is here. It was a call for donations as a free template that I utilized for the one that I showed you guys. So what's the important bit here? Whenever you're putting a business plan together, the first and most important thing you need to know is what are you actually selling? Because if you know what you're selling, it's very easy to understand what needs to be done by you next in order to find the right customers, promote it, and so on. And I find that an awful lot of businesses don't properly define what they sell. So for example, they will say, and again, let me use some famous examples here. In America, the railway business literally put itself out of business by saying that its product was, we are in railways. What they forgot was they were actually in the transporting of freight. And as a result of that, truckers took over their business from them. So definition of your business, what your business actually does, what product you actually sell, is incredibly vital to make sure you're addressing, firstly, the right audience, but secondly, you're passing on the message you want people to hear. And without a definition of your product, there is no ways you're going to be able to do that. So spend a lot of time on getting this one sorted out because it's worth it. It sort of defines everything else that comes after this. I think the important thing is you start by identifying who would you like to sell to. And again, let me emphasize the word like, because you might identify a niche that, you know what, you need to, now again, I'm a male, I've never given birth to a child, and I decide I'm going to get into disposable nappies. So the niche market I need to talk to is women who've just had their first child. So I would go and, for example, stand outside of a maternity ward somewhere and start handing out brochures. However, the question becomes, firstly, would a new mother trust a 60-plus-year-old guy standing outside a maternity ward? That's a bloomin' good question to answer. Secondly, I'm not comfortable doing that. So why would I do that? In other words, when you ask about the niche market, you're asking about a product, if I understand you correctly. Let me say it again. Your starting point is, who would you like to sell to? Underline the word like. Then sit and think about what problems are these people experiencing in the product I think I want to sell, and then what solutions do I have that my product can provide that'll solve those problems. So it's a little bit more subtle than just picking a niche. And you're going to do this 10, 20 times before you start feeling comfortable with it. And once you've got it right, you'll feel it. You'll know, hey, this is going to work. I'm happy with this. I'm enthusiastic about this. I can do this well. So don't think you're going to get it right the first time. You aren't. You have a unique problem in the dental profession in that you are location-based. In other words, the people who visit you live close to you. or are within very easy reach of you, or you're on their path between home and work, or whatever, right? So those are your major customers. Those are the people who are going to come and speak to you. Now, so essentially your target market is geography. It's not certain types of people. However, if you want to expand your business, you might say, you know what, I would like to specialize in, I don't know, pick something, dentures. So therefore, one of my target markets are people over the age of, pick an age, 60. I don't know how old the people that get dentures. So there's one of my target markets. The other thing I would like to concentrate on is sorting out straightening of teeth in teenagers. So therefore, my target market would be the parents of teenagers or the parents of young children who need their teeth straightened. And you would then build your message based on those audiences. Now, again, what are the problems people experience? I would go with dentists are damn expensive and I don't know whether I'm being ripped off or not. Because they say, I need to do the following, and who the hell am I to disagree with them? In other words, dentists, in my opinion, don't give you alternatives. And if we take, and again, let's go back to the dentures thing. As an alternative, I can do really fancy dentures that are drilled in with pegs and all sorts of stuff into your line. And you know, it's going to cost you like 100,000 Rand a tooth. Now, that's one option. The other option is we could do, I don't know, these removable dentures with, you know, metal substructure or with plastic substructure or with whatever. Now, if you give your clients choices on these things and give them the prices of these choices, they can then make an informed decision. And especially if you say something like, these are better because, you know, you're not just giving them facts, you're giving them opinion and experience as well. And that is really appreciated by clients. But what I find is that the medical profession in general is in such a bloody hurry to get the next patient in, they never finish their sentences. So you always feel like, you know what, I've been asked to make a decision based on too little information here. So let me not go back, or let me not do that yet, or whatever. So, you know, to me, those are I've listed a series of problems, a series of solutions, a series of suggestions there. These are the things you need to put down in order to say, okay, what am I going to do here? What makes sense? What is going to encourage people to make the right decision about their dental health? And of course, don't forget, people hate the sound of drills and they don't want injections and they don't want all that sort of stuff. So, you know, you need to address those guys as well in some way. Now, don't make it the major topic, but certainly address it. I think more important than your target market is what problem are you solving? Now, if you target SMEs generally, the problems are vast. Whereas if you target women coaches, your problem that you face is that women coaches feel they aren't taken seriously. Now, that is such a pain point with women coaches. If you push that pain point, you're going to get clients falling over you. So I agree. The more specific you can make your statement, the more success you're going to have. But understand something. When you've got a very specific statement on a very specific marketplace, you tend to exhaust it quite quickly. Even though it happens quite quickly in the beginning that lots of people come and speak to you, you also exhaust it very quickly. So you actually have to have more than one target or more than one problem that you're solving, and also numerous solutions to each of the problems that you've identified, because you do run out of clients essentially by being very specific and niche.
A good evening, and thank you, Gavin, for a very insightful presentations. Because marketing our product is the way forward. In any situations, everyone is having a specific product that he wants to deliver to his clients. Now, when you look at Geek, the products of Geek, they've been almost every day being explained on our platform. For example, because as you said, Geek is a financial institutions, cooperative financial institutions. There are products that are available for members, which number one, maybe I might say is a loan link share, which is explained as you can borrow 3 times what you have, depending on the credibility. And there is also 32 days notice. There is an investor account, and then also peer-to-peer review products. So these are some of few products that actually are available for Geek. Thank you.
I hear what you're saying about the loan link share, but I don't think one needs to use those words because people don't understand them. But if you had to, for example, put together a sentence that said something like, how would you like to pay off your bond in 7 years? I think you're going to get an awful lot more attention than saying to someone, we have interest-free loans called loan link share, because that is too much information that they don't know what to do with. Whereas, would you like to pay off your bond in 7 years is something that an awful lot of people will cause their ears to prick up. I believe homeschooling is the best form of schooling available. I believe that if we add the internet to that, you can use an expert to give really good education. So I absolutely support what you're saying. I just have one big problem with it. Your child needs to socialize.
Yes.
And socialization occurs in many, many ways. And I believe a classroom is an important form of that socialization. So if one combines, I don't know if you remember in the old days, there used to be farm schools where all the kids on the farm used to go to the school together, all the grades mixed up, etc. Now, I believe that if you could put kids in a room with access to the internet and each grade is being taught the level they need to be taught at, but they're sharing the facilities, they're having lunch together, they're perhaps playing soccer at break and all that sort of thing. And then on top of it, you let your kid join a sports club where other types of socialization occur. I think you're then rounding your kid's education.